D-Lo 404 Boxing. All right, y'all. I've been putting off speaking on this fight because I've been trying to just wait and lay back and see what unfolds. But as it pertains to the AJ and Fury saga, I don't have any issue with Fury making AJ an offer for a fight at this point, and I don't have any issue with AJ accepting. It's not my responsibility to count their pockets. It's not my responsibility to talk about who should get what or when they should fight or whatever. As a boxing fan, I have no issue with the fight. And quite honestly, the last thing I'm going to do is criticize, and I'm far from a Tyson Fury fan, but the last thing I'm going to do is criticize Fury for offering AJ a fight coming off of his 2 losses with Usyk when I saw firsthand, live, not in person, but on TV, when AJ beat Vladimir Klitschko, he called out Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was still hovering around 400 pounds, hadn't been in the ring in the same amount of time since Vlad had been in the ring. Only thing was he hadn't stayed in shape, hadn't taken care of himself. And, so if AJ can shamelessly call Fury out, and Eddie Hearn was backing AJ to get that fight done, didn't want to allow Fury to have any tune-up fights, kind of just wanted to, hey, you can take the fight or not. I'm not going to sit here and act like that Fury's taking advantage of AJ. At least AJ is in fighting shape, and he's coming off of 2 performances where he didn't just get blown out of the water. The guy's, the guy is who he is. And quite honestly, I'm not ready to say who I think wins that fight. I used to favor AJ over Fury heavy. I felt like AJ would stop Fury. That said, I also feel like Fury has his advantages, and especially right now with AJ being under the circumstances in which he would be coming into the fight, of course Fury has even more advantages. But I'm not ready to just say unequivocally who wins the fight. Of course, when it gets made, I'll come back and, I'll do a lot of, looking at film and stuff and really thinking it over and come back and make an assessment on who I think wins the fight and why. But I definitely don't have an issue with the fight being made. I think it was one of those fights where you better make it while you can. Because, it's not going to continue to get bigger. I think the fight already reached its fever pitch, and then some things have happened, and now the fight's starting to cool off some. Got to go ahead and get it while it gets good. So, to me, right now, AJ has only lost to Andy Ruiz in a huge upset, and then he's lost to a guy that a lot of people want to call the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Guy that was undisputed at cruiser. And, So, when you take all that into consideration, AJ he ain't coming off of a loss. It's not like he's coming off the Andy Ruiz loss. He's coming off a loss against someone that had live action that beating him. And I felt like, AJ and Hearn were hesitant to take the first Usyk fight anyway. That's why there was so much going on with, stalling and making sure they got the rematch clause in there and all that, even though Usyk was the mandatory. They knew that Usyk had action at beating AJ. I say them because Hearn, when AJ loses, Hearn acts like he's taking a loss as well, and I guess in a way he is. But, with all that being said, to sum it up, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is a huge fight for their country. And right now, the spotlight being on both guys very recently on a global perspective, I think it's just a huge fight in boxing in general, and there was a time that I felt like that was just a domestic fight that nobody would care about. But quite honestly, right now, I would be going out of my way to try to watch that fight if it were to happen, in December like they're proposing. But that's all I got on D-Lo 404 Boxing. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.